Hello! Today on Ask Alan about low carb cocktails, I was going to make some triple sec or a substitute for Cointreau. This is going to be made with Splenda based sugar substitute. You could also use allulose or other sugar substitutes. Splenda is what I happen to have, and I think it tastes a little sweeter than allulose, but that's what I'm going to use. And I'll show you in a moment how to make that here on Ask Alan about low carb cocktails. So welcome back to Ask Alan about low carb cocktails. Today, as I'd already mentioned, we're going to make some low carb, keto friendly triple sec. It tastes very much like Cointreau. The recipe that I'd gotten from this came from another YouTube channel, but I've changed it a little bit. What I wanted to do was to get it up to the level of Cointreau for ABV. Cointreau is 40 ABV, 80 proof, and the other recipe came in at 30 ABV. So what I'm doing here is modifying the amounts of the different alcohols to give us a full 40, little more than 40 ABV. So as we make this, we're going to use simple syrup made with Splenda or allulose or whatever you decide to use as your sugar substitute. I've used Splenda. I think that has a little bit sweeter taste. It does have a small amount of carbs in it, but they're not that many to make too much of a difference. But I went ahead and I made the 1-to-1 simple syrup on the stove, and it's in this jar. It's cooling. This is an old pickle jar. It had that pickle smell and taste in it, so you have to do a good job of cleaning it out and making sure you get all that out before you use it for an infusion. But I've saved this one back and labeled it to save for infusions. So I've used this for other things as well, and it works well. Otherwise, you can purchase a large mason jar and get that from a cooking store or online, and as long as it'll hold a little over 6 cups, you'll be fine. So with this, 3 cups of 1-to-1 simple syrup and 3 cups of either 151, which is all you can get in Iowa, of the Everclear, mixed with 80 proof, 90 proof, 100 proof, whatever you have for vodka. I was able to get some 190 proof Everclear, so that's what I'll use this time. I used the 151 before, and so the ratios are a little bit different. But what I do is take the ABV of the proof of the Everclear, multiply that by the volume of Everclear, and then you take the volume of the vodka multiplied by in this case 80 proof vodka, and you, after combining those, you divide not by 3, which is there's 3 cups of alcohol, but by 6 because you've got 3 cups of water. So the total volume is 6 cups. With that, what I'm going to be using here, I'm going to use 1 1/4 cup of 190 Everclear, and then of the 80 proof vodka, I'll use 3/4 of a cup. That, when you multiply that all out and divide by the 6 cups total, you come up to 81.25 proof. That's just a slight bit above what Cointreau is, and that was my target. And the last time I made it, That worked really well. The orange peels that you use are about 8 full-size oranges. I did a combination of full-size oranges and 4 of those. I've got 3 of them so far, and I'll cut the last one here so you can see that. But the full-size oranges I used some mandarin oranges. That's not the best thing to do because the pith wants to come off. When you peel these oranges, what you want to do, as I did here, and you can see there's still a lot of pith left on that orange, is you want to cut it such that you get just the peel and not the pith. So as we go around and cut that, and these are large oranges, so I think that that worked out okay to just use 4 of these and use. I used 10 of the mandarin oranges, but again, they were sort of hard to cut, and so there was some of it that I couldn't cut without getting a lot of pith, and unfortunately there's more pith off of the mandarins than I wanted. That pith will give you a sour taste that you don't want. A little bit of sourness is okay, but trying to go around this time and rather than end to end. But this peeler that I bought works very well for taking off the outside part of the citrus. So you can use that when you're making drinks and you need to have just the peel. And so make sure don't waste any of the peel part. And I doubt that you can see that, but of this orange, the both sides, I really have I have no pith. Unfortunately, on the mandarin oranges, there is a bit of pith. So I tried to do that as much as I could to get rid of the pith, but there's still some in there. And again, fresh, large oranges work best. You can use mandarin if you want to have that mandarin taste. But otherwise, you can just take these afterwards, juice them, cut them and eat them, do whatever you're going to do. Normally we don't want to have too many citrus products if you're doing low carb, so you may not want to do too much of that. So those will go in to this infusion jar, and with that will end up going the alcohol. Again, I had done the calculations and I decided on 2 1/4 cups of Everclear. That's a little bit of Everclear that was left over from the last time I made this. Again, this was with the 190 proof, and if you have 151 proof, you can alter your measurements. I'll try to show how to do that calculation in the notes to this video. So 1 cup. 2 cups. And 1/4. Then the vodka I have is 80 proof, and with that we'll use 3/4 of a cup. And this will end up giving you about 1 and just shy of 1.5 liters. So I will end up putting that into a 1.75 bottle. Okay. So you mix all that together, and what you'll do now is you will seal it and leave it set for a week. One thing I almost forgot, to give this a start, we're going to put some orange extract. So 1 tablespoon of orange extract. If you didn't do that and you didn't use the Everclear, you would maybe have to leave this for multiple weeks. But the orange extract is kind of giving it a little bit of a start. And make sure you seal that because it is getting out a little bit. And you'll just leave that set. Every few days, kind of shake it around a little bit, roll it. So make sure you get as much of that orange peel flavor into the alcohol. So we'll come back in a week and we'll strain this, try it, and at that time, if I am able to do it without messing it up, I'll maybe separate some of this out and make some blue Curaçao. Blue Curaçao is just orange liqueur with blue food dye. So no use in doing anything special for that. It's the same stuff, but with blue food dye. And we'll try to see if we can make something that looks about right for blue Curaçao. That way you'll have keto-friendly orange liqueur / Cointreau substitute, and you'll also have something that is able to be used for blue Curaçao. So we'll break away here and we'll come back in a week. Well, it's been a week. We're back, and this is sat during that time. I've made sure that I shook or rolled the jar to make sure that the orange peel would infuse into the liquid. And I have this bottle that I kept back from something else. You'd probably recognize the shape of the bottle, but this is what I had put the Orange Curaçao in before. And I also have some Cointreau here to do a quick comparison. And this is what was left in this jar. I poured it out. That's probably the same color that the new stuff will be. It's got a little bit of a darker orange. So what you can do is you can make blue Curaçao if you add blue food coloring. I've not tried that. I don't use a lot of blue Curaçao, but because this has such an orange tint to it, I'm not sure that will work very well. It might just turn it black when you combine the orange with the blue dye. But just so that you know, blue Curaçao is just orange Curaçao with food coloring in it. Well, with a little bit of experimentation, I did get a dark blue, maybe a tint of green,
but it's close enough. That's all I'm going to get for trying to get blue Curaçao. The yellow color within the liqueur that I made was hard to mix to get that blue color, but and unfortunately all I could find was neon food coloring. So I tried the blue. That didn't quite work right. I put a little bit of pink in there, and that helped out a little bit. Just takes a little bit of experimentation, but the closest I'm going to get is this dark blue.
So you don't really have to buy something separate or make something separate, because you can just add the dye to this. So let's start to, it's been on there for a few days, so start to strain this. See if this one will work a little bit better. And the only reason we're straining this is just in case there's any orange pits or anything in it. This first part won't, and what's left in there, as it gets more into the orange peel, there will be more likelihood of getting little bits of the pit. Rather than spend a lot of time making you watch me strain this, I'm going to go ahead and do a taste test. That's actually lighter than this other stuff was. I don't know if this is older, much older, so that might be the reason. But let's try this and see. Yeah, definitely it's got that orange flavor to it. Now, how does that compare with Cointreau? Cointreau is clear, so they probably have filtered that. To me, that tastes almost exactly the same. There's a little bit of difference, but Cointreau's got sugars added to it. This has Splenda, so this is basically no carbs at all. And this is what you want to use if you're making something that has to have an orange liqueur, and you don't want to get that sugar. So go ahead and try this. If you want to make blue Curaçao, just some blue food dye will cause that. And that's it for today. Try this. Like, subscribe, share this channel, and help me to build this channel so that we can bring more people to understand how to make cocktails with little to no carbs, so that they can enjoy the same things everybody else does and not have to worry about adding a bunch of carbs to their diet. Thank you. See you next time.